car that I drive today is a car which has defined terms like super luxury, a car which is sat on top of the heap as far as luxury cars go, a car known for its premiumness, sophistication and luxury the world over for a very, very long time. The Maybach, the Mercedes-Maybach I should say, and Mercedes recently launched this in India. Let's have a look as to how good this new Maybach is. Maybach, a company owned by the father-son team of Willem and Carl Maybach, made their first car way back in 1921. And after a checkered history of almost 9 decades, whereby they had been acquired by Daimler, they were discontinued in 2013. But then Daimler had a change of heart and announced the revival of the Maybach brand once again in November 2014. And we got a first glimpse of the production-ready Maybach at the Geneva Motor Show earlier this year in March. And now India gets his first new Maybach. I guess if you are a Maybach owner, you will probably never drive this car. You will let your chauffeur have all the fun. But then if you happen to be someone like me who has to drive everything and anything that's got wheels on it, then probably you will slide in behind the wheels. And if you do that, you will be taken by surprise. The Maybach here is a big car, measures almost 5.5 meters, and not only the length but also she weighs little over 2.8 tons. And that's a lot of weight for a car, even if it's a big one. And the engine here that is trusted with the job of hauling this Maybach is a massive V12 6-litre which churns out 530 brake horsepower and a very, very healthy 830 Newton meters of torque. And in fact, it does a wonderful job of driving the Maybach. The engine here is smooth, it's very refined, and in spite of the weight, in spite of the size, it still manages to get the Maybach up to the 100-kilometer mark in just 5 seconds, and that's really impressive. There is no sound that comes from the engine, there are no vibrations, so when you're driving it, you get the feeling as if you're just gliding. It's really a nice feeling to drive this car here. The Maybach comes with magic body control, which enables a set of onboard cameras to read the road surface and adjust the suspension accordingly for a smooth ride. And you also get different driving modes, and much to my surprise, you get a sports mode here as well. I really wonder if anybody will ever use the sports mode here and use the paddle shifts. After all, this is a super luxury car, and you get enough performance as it is from the engine. Anyway, that's an option that Mercedes has given you, and possibly you will find some speed freaks really using it. And for driver aid, you pretty much get everything: park assist, night vision, 360-degree camera, and of course a head-up display. And the surprising thing is that in spite of being a big car, she is really easy to drive. The steering is really light and the brakes are super effective, and once you step on the gas, of course you have abundance of power. So overall, even you drive the Maybach occasionally, you will still be amply rewarded because the experience would be nice. She's got everything to make the drive really enjoyable. Plenty of power and ease of driving. Of course, one thing I will not talk about here is the fuel efficiency. After all, if you buy a car which costs as much as this, you would be really silly to talk about fuel efficiency. So this time around, I'm going to skip the issue of fuel efficiency completely and focus rather on driving this car. When you step inside this car here, you get exactly what you would have expected: pure, unadulterated luxury. The seats come wrapped in the finest quality Napa leather with hand stitching on it, and of course they have both air conditioning and heating on them. And the fascia here is really aesthetically done with a combination of pure wooden veneer as well as some leather on it. And there's a huge display here which pretty much gives you all the information that you need. And overall, if you look at the interiors here, you realize that this is a car which reeks of luxury and which in fact kind of sets the benchmark for luxury cars all across the globe. But it still manages to carry over some of the Mercedes idiosyncrasies. After all, it's a Mercedes brand, so why not? What you find here is a little analog clock right on the center here. And of course, if you look at the interiors here, they look very, very familiar with what the S-Class offers. So in that case, some of you might have a problem with it, thinking that you are driving an S-Class while as you are driving a Maybach and you have paid a whole lot more money for this one. So I feel there should have been a bit of differentiation. But no, sadly it's the same brand, so it's all standard looks, except for the size, of course. But another thing that you will find very reassuring if you do happen to buy the Maybach is the fact that this is really high on safety. This car comes with 12 airbags. But honestly, I haven't really seen a car which encourages you to spend more time on the back seat than this one. It's exactly what you need after a hard day's work. And believe it or not, I have been working hard, so time for me to put my feet up, literally, and take in some hot stone massage, which the seats are eager to deliver. Time for a break, maybe? If you are somebody who is used to business class travel, then you will find the interiors of this Maybach really something very, very familiar. It's got everything to make your travel really comfortable and very enjoyable. You got your personal stereo system, you got nice leather wrapped, not only leather wrapped, it's Napa leather wrapped, I should say, extremely good quality seats which are actually extendable and they let you stretch your legs very well. Then, of course, you have this foldable tray which will let you work. And I'm also told that the interiors of this Maybach is actually the quietest interior in any car. And the ride quality is simply superb. You don't feel any aberrations of the road coming in here and disturbing your peace. So no matter whether you want to just chill out, relax, or you want to work on the way, this car is absolutely perfect. The Maybach sits on the same W222 platform which is used by the Mercedes S-Class, but the wheelbase is about 8 inches longer than even the long wheelbase S-Class, which makes it the longest car in the Mercedes portfolio. The Maybach measures in at 5435 millimeters and the wheelbase is 3365 millimeters, which is actually longer than the entire length of some hatchbacks that are sold in the country. All this might make the Maybach a difficult proposition to squeeze into a tight parking slot, but what it does is give the car a regal presence which you just can't miss. Now let's see who are the kind of guys who will be actual customers of this car. Now I'll give you an example. Suppose you're the kind of a guy who does a lot of intercity travel. I'll give you an example. Suppose you travel from Delhi to Chandigarh or from Bombay to Pune on a regular basis. Now, if I were to take a business class flight, let me check the fares. It shows me a fare of 22,000 rupees round trip between Delhi and Chandigarh, a distance of 300 kilometers. The flight lasts 45 minutes only. Now, if I were to do things differently, I would take this Maybach, I would drive down to Chandigarh, and the advantage I have is I can leave on my time, I can come back on my time, and I will obviously avoid obnoxious company. I have my personal stereo system, I have nice leather-wrapped reclining seats, and I can work at peace. And no one to disturb me. So if you're the kind of a guy who loves road travel, loves to do things on his own times, loves privacy and of course values comfort, then this car is far better than going business class in any airlines. You do things in style and you do things in the lap of luxury. This is one car which is really meant for long distance travel. And then what pleases me immensely is the attention to detail, as you can expect in a car like this. Even the seat belts here are padded. And the holder in which the seat belts go in is illuminated. And then of course you have mood lighting, 7 colors to choose from, and you can also control the dimming levels. So talk about setting the right mood, this car will do the job perfectly for you. The Maybach here, true to its positioning, is a car which actually gives you everything that you might look for in a super luxury car. Loads of space, plenty of features, and of course it's big on safety and very drivable too. The V12 motor makes it so. The only thing that might go against it is the fact that this might appear a bit similar to the S-Class that Mercedes offer, but then this nameplate here puts it in a separate league. And the fact that she is really expensive is the reason why many people might not be able to buy it. The S600 here is what is expensive because this is imported right out of Germany as a CVU. But Mercedes is actually offering you a solution. They are giving the locally assembled S500 Maybach at a much lower price. Whole rupees 1 crore less than this one. And that should be an attractive buy. If only good things of life weren't so expensive, or the other way around, if most of us were millionaires, chances are we would have seen a lot of these around. But sadly, at rupees 2.6 crores, or what it costs to park a Maybach in the garage, can buy most people a decent piece of real estate. And this is what I guess most people opt for over a Maybach.